Well, welcome to the Goat Shed for another super helpful repair video on electromechanical pinball machines. Today we have a Gottlieb socket to have a look at. But firstly, it's Friday 26th of August 2022. It's 15 degrees Celsius outside, which is 59 degrees Fahrenheit. So this machine has been brought into us for a little bit of work prior to going to our annual Pin Fest, which is our pinball festival held here in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. So what we'll be doing, we'll be having a good look at this game. Apparently the guy's having some trouble with the spinners. We have to have a look, see what's going on. For argument's sake, that one on the right's not sitting very well. Looks like the post might be a bit bent. I mean, Gottlieb spinners, they were nowhere near as good as a Williams spinner, were they? Well, we don't believe they are. Now, of course, this machine has the back box animation in it with the Caitlin balls for the bonuses, same as like tops, score, mibs, that sort of thing. This particular machine, the guy has owned for probably about 5 or 6 years. We originally did some work on it when he first bought it. And now he's just really giving it a bit of a tune-up. So we'll probably replace the rubbers on it if there are any needing replacing. We'll have a look and see. There's a problem with the middle pop bumper too, apparently. It's sticking down or something like that, so we'll have to have a quick look at that. And apparently the ball isn't kicking out of the shooter really well. It seems to be a fairly common problem. I mean, it can be as simple as putting a new coil sleeve in the kicker coil, or it can also have problems the way the ball sits in the trough and kicks out, the runway switch, all sorts of things. Well, not the runway switch, the trough switch, the one under here. So we're going to get in and start on that this morning on this glum and overcast day. And I have to make it happen so this can be played and enjoyed by all the patrons of our Pin Fest. So we've removed the playfield from this soccer and got it in the cradle. One of the complaints from the owner was the middle pop bumper was sticking. So we've pulled the 3 pop bumper frames out, and we've discovered that the middle one, there's something wrong with the spoon switch. So we've got that out at the moment, and we're going to have a little look and see what's going on, and we're fairly confident that will fix that. Now the other problem that the chap mentioned was with the ball kicker. So we've pulled that apart, and we've cleaned the mech, put a new coil sleeve in, and checked the spring, and it's working quite well. It's all free. So hopefully that's all that is. The only other problem you could get with it is power to the coil. It's not getting enough power to the coil. If that's the case, that'll more than likely be in one of the relays, possibly the O relay. We haven't got that far yet. Just cleaned all the relays, the B and C relay for the bumper. There's an alternating relay there, and then we have the I relay over here. It's okay, which is of course a ASFS type relay. As I mentioned, we did go through this fairly extensively. We looked it up. It was actually 6 years ago, so time gets away. Now, Spanky's just keeping his eye on what's happening up here. We've just pulled the actual pop bumper body out, and we're just going to inspect.
I'm not happy with the skirt.
Okay, we don't like the skirt. So let's pull that apart, and we're going to replace the skirt, Graham's saying. So we've done a complete video on pop bumper removal and repair. So we're not going to bore you to tears with that. But if you're interested, please go and have a look at that video. Look up in our video library. We've got about 120 videos on there now. Now, another game that turned up just before soccer yesterday was this AMI Hot Race, SPA. Now, looking it up, this is an Italian company. Now, we had a hot race in here last year sometime, and I guess they're reasonably rare. This is in fairly good condition, but the owner of this game bought it way back in 1995, and apparently when he first got it, it worked somewhat, but he's had problems on and off with it for years, like skipping players, going to the wrong player and things like that. So we're starting on that as well. This is going to be a project we'll sort of do on and off, because we're in the middle of a few things at present. But these are a Gottlieb knockoff. They must have had a license from Gottlieb. As you can see, the relays and score motor are all Gottlieb type. Where Spanky's standing at the moment, that's sort of like a ball count and unit, and does a couple of things, and the game over works off it, and that's giving us a bit of trouble. We've got to look into that at the moment. We do have a schematic. Anyone that's ever had anything to do with the schematics from these foreign manufacturers, they're certainly not well laid out. Like even on the schematic, where you got to look at the schematic at the relays at position 6E. Well, there's no A, B, C, D, E, and there's no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc., etc. You've just got to find it, and it's possible, but it's a little bit frustrating. And the schematics, the way they've drawn them are, well, sketchy. But that's what you've got to live with it. Let's show you the back of it. So here's the rear of the machine. It's got the, once again, the Gottlieb style score reels, but this manufacturer looks like they've made their own metal frames, because they're nothing like a Gottlieb one. Here's another stepper again. This is the player unit. You can see the switch stacks on there. So that other unit we were talking about in the front, it was the ball count unit. Now here's one thing I really don't like what they've done, and they haven't thought too hard about this. That's the replay unit. But of course, guess what? Everything's hard up against this wall here. So on a Gottlieb, it's always over on the left here where they've got this player unit. You can get at it. Really, the player unit should have been on this side, in my personal opinion. Maybe they had too much vino that day, who knows. There's all your scoring relays here. So yeah, it's just a Gottlieb knockoff. There's the play field, or the bottom, what you can see of it, and the flipper linkages and all that sort of thing. Once again, all the same. Okay, so we've now replaced the skirt in the middle pop bumper, and it definitely was the problem. It just must have been worn that much. It was sticking in the spoon. Simply adjusting the spoon now, just to rest very lightly on the tip.
Just on it.
And that's what he's doing now.
Not much pressure at all on it. Give him pressure.
So looks like he's happy with that.
Okay, now we'll do the next one.
So there you go. Just replacing a skirt has repaired a particular problem, which is good. So we've just got to now put the other pop bumpers back together.
Got to do this.
So just refitting that switch assembly there. All the switches have been cleaned. And we'll just have to adjust that one. And now once we've done this, we're pretty much ready to put it back in the machine. There have been problems reported with the spinners, so we're going to have a look at those, but that'll be something we can do. There's the end of the spinner switches. That'll be something we'll do when we put it back in the game and see what's going on. The only other thing we're a bit concerned about is the ball gate. Once again, when they're upside down, it's opposite sort of in gravity, so when we put the playfill back in, we'll make sure that that's okay. What the important part here is that this switch is literally the return for the ball gate. So if that's sticking, or not sticking, if it's not tensioned right, you will have trouble. Now, there is a slight gap in there, but we'll have a look at that when we get it in. So worst case scenario is that to minimise that gap, or to remove it completely, you just have to get a pair of pliers and tweak that wire just about there and away, and that'll come closer. But when you do that, it changes the relationship where the pin is, and you might get a bit of rub in there, so you've just got to be careful if you do it. But as I said, that'll be done a little later. Now let's just show you something there, that yellow skirt that's sticking up. We're going to get Graham to put his finger. See, there's a big gap there. That's not acceptable, that's no good, so that spoon will need adjusting. So it just touches the tip of the skirt, and he's sort of doing that now, so just watch out for that. Just a light touch, and of course then you'll have to readjust the switch. So there we go, another useful tip. Right, now here's another problem we've discovered with this. The switch operator here in the hole, one of the holes that's up in the top left of the playfield, is broken. You can see it's broken away there. Now this is very common. Even though it will work, it'll be inconsistent with the way it works. So we're going to have to replace that. Unfortunately that's yellow and we only have red ones, but it is what it is. So seeing as they're up the top, you won't notice it all that much. Even the one on the other side's yellow, but it's got a red operating arm.
Got a couple of cracks, but it might be okay.
Yeah, they crack a lot. So if you're repairing pinballs,
actually someone's glued this one down.
Oh, there you go. That's glued with the other one. You really need to keep a few of those in stock. They are available from PBR, so always be aware of that. There's also one on this game under the ball trough, but it's okay. Right, so a nice new switch actuator frame and actuator itself all been replaced. So as I said, there's certainly things to look out for, and probably, well, you get a machine with 3 or 4 of those in there, at least 1 or 2 will definitely be broken. Alright, it's just about time to put this in the machine. Let's see what happens. So here's the playfield. It's not in too bad a condition. Probably needs a little bit of a wax. We might give it one of those for good measure. So we're just changing out some rubbers in the game. What we ended up doing is also the top left hand pop bumper, the skirt on that was actually really bad. We hadn't noticed that, so we've changed that as well. So we've changed the left yellow and the middle blue. The right yellow's not too bad, so we're running a bit short on those at the moment. I've mentioned this before, but the cost of getting parts from the USA to Australia is crazy. Crazy. Small parcel came in from PBR the other day, and I think it worked out at around about $126 AU. The exchange rate presently, it's only 69 cents. Alright, all up, we've probably spent a couple of hours just getting this game up to where we think it should be. So, nice apron on it, had a new decal on it, obviously before Pinball Rescue closed down. Playfield's, as I said, pretty good. It's now being cleaned and waxed. Oh, there's Spanky. The back glass isn't too bad. You know, it's not perfect, but it's okay. There's a few blemishes over in this area here. But look, you know, from a 1975 perspective, that's not so bad. And this game is one of the games that features the Half Moon credit unit. I think all up there were 12 games that had that Half Moon, they didn't last long. I think it's an experiment they tried, but it just wasn't popular because they only went up to 9 replays. Once again, we've done a whole video on how to disassemble and rebuild those credit units. Okay, so as you can see, the game's got power. If we've done our job right, and I think we have, or I hope we have. Well, there's something that's not right.
100-point switch stuck on.
100-point switch stuck on. Now, let's have a little look for that and see what we can see. Okay, so what that problem was the middle pop bumper. The scoring switch was obviously too close when we screwed the bumper body down. We didn't recheck the switch, and that switch was closed. Spanky found that in about an instant. So we're going to check the rest of the machine now. The good news is it's kicking the ball out okay now, which was one complaint the owner had. And we've got to attend to these spinners now. He's complaining about the spinners. So we wanted to get the game and play it a bit first and see what is the issue with the spinner. We have this one here which isn't really sitting right. We have to have a look at that. Obviously this is the incorrect spinner, I would assume. It says TNT. Not sure what that's on. So what we'll do now, we'll just check the features and functions of this game. So top left of the playfield, we roll over that and it lights the special, which it's done there. So let's see if that works. We should hear a thump. And we certainly did. That's a good good knocker. Now, this game is very similar in a way to Gottlieb's top score and the 4-player game 300 with the 2 holes up the bonus holes up the top. One's what they call a mystery bonus, the other one is a 1,000-point bonus. The main difference, of course, is that on the top score you have the lanes down the side. So let's roll over this one here, and that opens the gate. Now the gate's open, as you can see, and when the ball rolls over, the switch in the shooter lane, it closes. So that's working. Remember we mentioned that earlier, sometimes they don't work so good. Let's try that once more. It opens up and it closes. So that's good. So it just seems we've just got a little bit of testing on this to do now. We'll play the game a little bit. Let's shoot a ball up into the playfield and watch it move around. If you can bear with me, we'll do that. Try not to give you Oh, look at that, we got the ball back. Isn't that great? So that's in the mystery bonus, and it's kicking the balls up. So if we land in this one here, oh, I missed it. Kicks more balls up. Has a maximum of 10 balls. Okay, let's count the bonus down. We'll drop it in the hole here. And there you go. Now let's have a look and see what the problem with the spinners are. Okay, that one there is a little off. So we'll have a look at that. Set up. We've got a loose. See that? That's loose. So we're going to have to tighten that up. It's probably a bit bent too, but it's very, very loose because they get hit so hard. So let's go and fix all that up. But overall, it looks like we've got a machine that's started up, fired up, and largely works. Now, just before we finish off, the video with soccer and show you a little bit more. Just want to remind everybody that if you follow us on our Facebook page and YouTube, you'd be more than aware that we're coming over to the USA. And in fact, I leave Australia on Thursday, the 22nd of September. So that's only roughly, what's today's date? The 27th, isn't it? So that's only about 26 days odd before I leave. And I'll be at the Chicago show, so we look forward to catching up with anyone there, and I'll be recognisable. I'll have a Goat Shed shirt on. And we're going to have some talks. We're going to do a talk. I'm going to do a separate one to tell everyone a little bit about the Goat Shed and the history and some of the interesting things we do. So that should be a lot of fun. We're going to have some giveaways. We're going to have some T-shirts to give away. Lucky door prizes, I guess, is the better way to describe it. We're going to have some beer coolers or koozies, I think some people call them. And we're going to have some Goat Shed tin plate signs. So looking forward to doing that. Now, as well as the Chicago show, we are going to be travelling from east to west. We will be going to the White Rose Game Room show in York in Pennsylvania. Last time we were there, we met a lot of people in the different Facebook groups, had a lot of fun. So we hope to see people there as well. So all up, I'm going to be in the USA for about 5 weeks. And initially I'll be starting off in the Long Beach area or possibly San Diego. I'm going to have 3 days to spare before my travelling companion catches up with me. So I'll be looking for some stuff to do. I've had a little bit of a look. I can possibly go from Long Beach on a 35-minute run in a car, so an Uber, to Disneyland in Anaheim. Never really had a lot of desire to go to Disneyland, but hey, you're not that far away, so it's an iconic place in the world. And it may be worth a visit. Also, a friend of mine has suggested if I go to San Diego to the zoo, and I think there's a naval exhibition out there with the aircraft carrier Enterprise, I think it was, is there. So yeah, I've got to find some things to do and kill 3 days of time there. When my travelling companion Craig catches up, we're going to visit a few people around the Long Beach area and look at their collections. And after we've done that, I think on about the 28th, we'll be renting a car and driving to Vegas. From Vegas, we'll be going and looking at the brand new Pinball Hall of Fame. Last time we went to the old one, of course, in East Tropicana, and now we're going to see this one on the Strip. Should be exciting. Good to see Tim Arnold. And from Vegas, we're going to fly to New York City. We're going to spend about 5 or 6 nights in New York City. Have a good look around. Very limited time last time, so looking forward to that. And then we'll be driving to the White Rose show from there by renting a vehicle. And from the White Rose show, we're going into Ohio. We're going to catch up with some people there in Ohio on our way to Chicago, go through Michigan, and all along the bottom of the Great Lakes. So yeah, we're very, very excited about this. It's going to be a great trip. And it's not long to go. Yep, everything's done. Airfares are all paid for. A lot of money. And the exchange rate presently in Australia is only 69 cents. So it makes a hell of a difference. Anyway, look, enough of me rambling on about our trip. I do hope as many of you come and say hi as possible. Take a photo opportunity with Spanky. He loves to have his photo taken. Oh, and he likes to drink beer. So that's something also that he enjoys. So let's just get back onto this soccer, shall we? All right, so we ended up fitting another spinner. We started off with a white one we had. Now we've put that one on. So what we're going to have to do now is get this scanned and make a sticker for it for the guy. Or he may have mentioned he bought new decals. So we'll just have to check with him, because that one TNT definitely isn't right, is it? So this machine is pretty well good to go now. We're just going to play it here in the front shed for on and off for a couple of days, and yeah, hopefully it'll be ready to return to the owner. And another game for our pinball festival. So that's not far away now. It's really only about just a touch over 3 weeks. And annual event here in Newcastle. So yeah, we're all looking forward to that. So once again, we thank you for watching our videos, and we do hope you find them useful. And yes, please, make any comments, positive or negative, in the comments section. We love to hear from you. We do try and respond to all questions asked. But we would really like you to subscribe to our videos. That's important for us to keep us motivated and keep those videos coming. And give us the big thumbs up. So this has been another Goat Shed presentation.